Hey folks, it's David Perdue with MyNAMS.com. We are going to get started here in just a minute. I wanted to make sure I get my presentation up here and get things moved around a little bit. So just give me one moment. Sure, I'm glad you're coming in here. We got a lot to talk about today, and for those of you who are in the Insiders Club, we're going to do some special passive income work today on selling products. Little message about that as we go through here. I want to make sure that you can hear me and see everything just fine. So if you would just type in the chat box that you can hear and see. We are behind. You have like a 10-second lag, so please just go ahead and type that in there. You can hear and see. And Scott, you go ahead and say a word or two. Make sure they can hear you as well.
Okay. I'm also typing that I can hear you.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
What's that? I'm first.
You are first. You are first. Type in the chat box that you can hear and see, please.
Evidently, nobody can hear us or see us. We can see them, though. We know they're there.
I think that's the case.
Yeah, there they are.
And we are waiting patiently. I'm not going to move an inch until somebody types in that box that they can hear and see us.
Houston, we have a problem.
We might have a problem.
Yep.
There. Ute, great. Mary Louise, great. Yeah, good. Candy, great.
Talk about a delay. Wow.
Hope there's not that much delay in this thing.
That's a good minute, at least.
Yeah, it was. All right, so let me, we're going to talk today about something really interesting, and it is, you know, people ask me all the time, what do I sell? What do I sell? I want to get into selling products for passive income, but the big question is, what do I sell? Well, if you know me, I'm David Perdue with MyNAMS.com and Novice to Advanced Marketing System, and the MyNAMS system is all about passive income. That's what we try to do. We try to help people build more passive income into their life. And as we get clearer and clearer, and by the way, you will do this as well, is get clearer on your market. And over the last few years, we have begun getting really clear on our market. Our market loves our 30-day challenges. Our market loves the passive income concept. Our market is over 45 for the most part, and they are also mostly women in the 60 to 65% range, mostly women. And when you get a market like that in the baby boomer world, and that's my market, baby boomer, I would be one, then really, you think? You are too. You just look better. Then what you're really looking at is people who are very serious, and that's the market that I love, people who are very serious, because the baby boomers are seeing the world change. I heard a statistic the other day when I was at Paul Evans' event on the weekend. Lane Amon, one of our former NAMS instructors, or our NAMS instructors, she can always come back and be a NAMS instructor, showed me on her phone a post that came from one of the news agencies that said in 10 years, 50% of all careers will be extinct. So 50% of all the current careers will be gone in 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
So think about the transition that's got to happen between now and that 10-year period. People are going to have to find different ways of making money, and that's the reason that I focus on passive income. This is so important to you to build that base and that future. So that's why NAMS, this month we're doing the 30-day challenge on passive income, but I have to tell you, every 30-day challenge is leading you to more and more passive income. So all 12 of our rotating challenges really have that as an end goal. So we're going to get started today, and Scott Smith, by the way, is here with me today. Hello, Scott.
Hello.
And Scott is, as you may or may not know, is the host of the Business Boost, the Daily Boost. And do you have a fitness boost as well? Is that right?
I do, but evidently you don't listen to the fitness stuff, do you, David?
I don't. I listen to the business stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry.
So. Busted.
Busted. Tell them about it. Tell them about it, Scott.
Well, we do three. We've done this for a long time. We started in 2005 doing podcasts on iTunes, and we kind of evolved into the daily motivation experts. So we do these 9-minute programs that you listen to. The Daily Boost does this past month did about 600,000 downloads. It's life and personal development. The fitness boost is we're kind of known for that. We're 50-50. We tend to believe that life begins when you move, so we focus in on wellness, if you will. And we have a large boomer audience as well, but also a good number of millennials, kind of pretty broad on the fitness side. And then the business side is mostly entrepreneurial support. And of course, we have the podcast persuasion side these days, and a few other things going on. So, but our mission every single day is really kind of to deliver the 24K golden nuggets of information in 9 minutes or less, and then let you get on with your day. That's what we do.
Good. And Scott introduced podcast persuasion to our audience at the last NAMS workshop and knocked it out of the park. The people loved what he presented, and he started his beta course there with podcast persuasion. And I believe you finished that now and are just really rocking through with that.
Yeah, we have one or two more bonus modules coming. We've gone through the coaching. We've had so many questions. People have come back. They've been great questions. Spent a lot of time with them. And so we're going back and creating modules that are really going in depth to those questions. So the goal was kind of to work with that group in detail. If you go to the website right now, you'll see it says closed, but not for long. We're just getting it done right. But it's a great group of people in there, and about at least 50% NAMsters at least.
Yeah, I was really happy to be the trial and the beta on that because I knew that it was going to be great, and it is great. But we're not here to talk about podcasting today. What we're talking about is selling products that we love.
Yes.
And the reason Scott is on here with us today is because he actually helped me focus on something that I was loving and needing, and we're going to talk about that today as well. But first, let's talk about this from a passive income perspective, and I'm going to switch over here and show you the presentation that I have up on the screen so we can take a look here. So this is you'll just start seeing a PowerPoint here. You should see it now that says promote what you love. Mm-hmm. This is a really important concept to me because if you don't promote things that you love, that means you're selling something that you don't care about. If you don't care about it, it really comes through. People ask the question all the time, should I sell something that I'm passionate about? Should I get involved in a niche that I'm passionate about? Or should I be selling something that is a hot market and has a lot of money in it? Well, hopefully you do both. But if you're in it just for the money, it's going to show. And I really believe that you have to have some passion about what you are selling. And I have a lot of passion around podcasting and the podcast persuasion course as well. So that, I think, is your philosophy as well, right, Scott?
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the core of what we are is all about. It's you'll hear me oftentimes saying, "Do what makes your heart sing," and I don't mean that in kind of a woo-woo kind of way. I mean it ought to. The bottom line is you can do anything short term, but you're going to burn out. As soon as you do what you really love to do, life gets easy, and then it's amazing. You'll just kind of do what it takes. But more importantly, people see you're real, that you're congruent in what your belief is, and the money just kind of comes your way a lot easier instead of trying to fake it till you make it. Just do what you love.
Yeah. So I want to show you this this cartoon that I found, and it really speaks to my audience. Here's a guy looking at his report that he gets in the mail, right, with his cup of coffee. According to your latest figures, if you retired today, you could live very, very comfortably until about 2 p.m. tomorrow. I know so many people in this situation, the paycheck to paycheck folks. I grew up with the paycheck to paycheck folks.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we had 9 kids in my house. My dad worked the night shift, and it was all about paycheck to paycheck because there was never 2 nickels to rub together when it was over. But he still was able to put aside some money so that he could retire at the age of 58, and he still is retired at the age of 85. So, it's really important to start ahead and start figuring out how to build your own freedom. And in today's world, it changes so fast. I know so many people who are losing their jobs or being downsized or whatever. Or, I just told you about all the careers that are going to disappear in the next 10 years. And if you think about the economic recovery that we have going on, it's been in the service industry mostly. Entrepreneurs are the people who absolutely have to take charge of their own future with passive income. I think passive income is incredibly important. And we've talked about this passive income in our 30-day challenge and the 5 areas of passive income that help you build your freedom. This is your money tree. And here's the things that you have to do in the passive income areas. These are kind of the niche general areas: the selling yourself, investing, advertising, affiliate programs, and selling products. So today we're going to sell some products. We're going to talk about selling products. And that is, in my mind, it's one of the most fun things to do, but there's a lot of work there. But if you're using products that you love, then it's a lot easier to do that, and especially if you have a system in place that continues to reward you for more effort, future effort. So when this guy comes walking toward you, what does he look like? Scott, you like this guy?
I've met a few guys just like that, and I really don't like them at all. Not at all. I run the other way.
What are you thinking when you see this guy?
He's coming for my wallet, man. That's it.
That's what these guys are thinking too.
That's what I do, yeah.
Coming for my wallet. And he's coming from a place of self and ego, and I want what I can get from you. That's all he's interested in, is I want what I can get from you. And so if you're selling something that you love, you end up being more like this, where you can be of service, you can be happy, you present this presence, you can really get focused on being of greater service to more people, and it comes through. That's what you were talking about earlier, Scott, where it just becomes easier to do. Yeah. That's the kind of attitude that you encourage people to be during the Daily Boost. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big part of what we do. It's kind of hard to get there sometimes. We tend to get caught up in the, hey, got to push, got to market, got to sell. And the reality is we do have to do that, but when you can come from a place of gratitude and happiness on it, people get connected to you. And once they're connected, they're willing to talk to you about doing business with you, and it works every time, no matter what you do.
So I've put a poll. If you click on the poll tab at the top, I put a poll in that says, do you have a product that you love and recommend but can't make money from it? So if you have a product that you love and are recommending but can't make money from it, tell us there, yes or no. Do you have a product that you love, recommend, but can't make money from it? Is it a yes that you can't make money from it, or no, you're making money from it? So just vote there, and we'll take a look at how many people on this call are in that situation, okay? So that's on the polls tab in the right. If you're using the Webinar Jam system to view this, not on the Google system. You won't be able to see it on the Google system, but if you're in the Webinar Jam, you'll be able to see it. So the thing I love about this picture is that this woman just exudes happiness, right? I mean, she's really satisfied with what she's doing. And that is so key to everything we do. People that see me at NAMS know that I love NAMS. In fact, every time we do a NAMS, I have to say this. I actually am always teary at the end, and people see me just blubber from the stage. Because
we wait for it, man. We wait for it. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. I think there's a pool that's been started on when's David going to cry during
When's he going to cry? Yeah. I missed it last time. I was close, though. I was close.
Oh, man. So how do you find these products that you are going to love? The key to finding products that you're going to love is talking to people. You have conversations with people. And what you want to do when you have these conversations with people, you want to find out what people are using. What kind of stuff are they in love with themselves, and what's the stuff that they're using that you haven't used, and you want to find out more about what they're doing. What do they need? And this gets to the hot product. It really is important to understand that there are marketplaces that are evergreen. That's the third quality that we wanted to talk about. The evergreen marketplaces really tell you that there's going to be my dad used to say this. My dad always wanted to own a grocery store. He said there's 3 or 4% profit in a grocery store, but everybody's got to eat. He always thought that was a really good business that he would love to get into. He never got into a business, but he always thought he wanted to get into a grocery store because people got to eat. And I know that's a difficult area to sell in and to run a business in, but his concept was right. It's an evergreen business.
Yeah, David, I think also, we can add a word onto that evergreen. I just thought about it here. Is evergreen is great, but consumable is great as well.
Yeah.
Because they have to eat, and that's consuming, which means the cupboard goes dry, and they have to get more. It's like your car, gasoline. It's consumable.
Right.
Anything that we have that's consumable. We don't want a durable good. That's not the business I'm in. I don't know about you, but I don't want them to buy every 15 years. Okay.
No, and that's the reason I have a lot of products, and I have products that we update on a regular basis, and that's the reason we have recurring memberships.
There you go.
Because we like passive income, and passive income means that it's going to go away at some point. Not your passive income, but that the product has to be replenished at some point. So you're right, evergreen and consumable. That would be a good one to add to that. So the point of this picture, though, is you're talking to people, you're listening to people. What are they telling you? What are the keys to being plugged into your marketplace with products that you love? So, as Scott was saying, I listened to the Daily Boost. I've been listening to the Daily Boost since I met Scott, well, a month or two after I met Scott. I met him in January of last year on the Marketer's Cruise, so it's coming up on a year.
Mm-hmm.
And he and his wife, Joy. And when I started listening to the Daily Boost, it was probably about April or May. He started mentioning this product that he really liked. And he just mentioned it. He didn't try to sell it. He didn't do any kind of fancy thing with it. He just mentioned it. But I could tell from the enthusiasm in his voice that he really liked it and believed in it. So Scott, tell people what your philosophy was as you were introducing Isagenix to your folks via the podcast.
Well, it's the same philosophy I've had with everything. It's at first I get excited about something, and truly excited, not looking for anything that is, not looking for what can I sell, looking for something that it can serve me, can serve the people that are listening to me, and I get excited. And I jumped in and I started talking about it. And you're right, I think it went on for a couple of months that I was out there just kind of raving about what I was doing. And I'd done that before in launching. I find in my world, particularly in the podcast world, we have a little bit of a delay. People listen passively. They listen in maybe a couple of weeks behind when we release our programs. So I know that I have to give it time, and I have to slowly bring them in. And really, very importantly, I think that if you're doing the kind of work that we do, is we have to build an amazing rapport with people. And you can't break that rapport along the way. So my goal was really, to make sure I loved it, to make sure it worked for me, to get people comfortable with it, because I didn't want to shock them, because they get that way sometimes. But
right.
Slowly bring it into their world, and that's what we did. And it was just kind of fun. Frankly, I couldn't stop myself, to be honest with you. I was having fun.
Well, and the truth was that as I was listening to this, you just kept slipping it in and then saying, if you're interested in this, give me a call. And people were calling you.
Yep.
And so 6 weeks after people were calling you, after you started introducing this, the next thing you said, which got my attention, was, hey, we just launched this Isagenix thing about 6 weeks ago, and I went and bought a motorhome this week.
I did. Yes, I did.
I thought, now, wait a minute. This is working so well that he went and bought a motorhome with this thing? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'd always wanted one, and we've been looking for a long time. But it's kind of it's a luxury item, and it sits more than it rides. And we spent well over $100,000 on this thing, and just in full transparency, I didn't give him over $100,000. I mean, I financed a good part of it, but I just didn't want to come up with $20,000. And so all of a sudden, when I get into this Isagenix, there's a bunch of bonuses and things that I just decided to go after, and I did the math. I did the math very quickly, and I went, wait a second, if I do this, I can do that. And I did it, and I earned the money really fast, and then I start looking, and I go to RV shows until I found what I wanted. But here's the cool thing. We're actually looking. We finally found the rig that we wanted, and my wife allowed us to buy this. And I say that because, she's the one things past her. But the reason she allowed it to happen was because she saw what was happening with Isagenix. Not the money we had made, but the consistency and the future as it was growing. She saw it. And when she saw that, she allowed us to go into this thing. And now I actually take Isagenix, I take the bus, as we call it, out to events and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. So yeah, it's direct. I call it the IsaCoach, by the way. Yeah, so you brought the IsaCoach to NAMS in August, and I got to see the IsaCoach, and it was just like, it's not a small vehicle. It's 38 feet. Yeah, it's big. It looked like something that a rock star would be driving around town, right? And I was thinking, man, this is awesome. Yeah. It's a Winnebago Journey, and my mom said maybe the band used to own that one. I said, no, Journey didn't own my coach. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Scott and I talked,
and I said, listen, man, I'm interested in this. This is what I would really like to do, though. I'm just interested in losing a little weight.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I was that you can see right up there at the top, 216 pounds. That was down, by the way, when Scott and I were talking. That was down from about 223 at my highest point.
Wow.
And this was this is the scale right here from last week, 2026. So that is from September until now, and that includes spending 2 weeks at the beach, 2.5 weeks at the beach during that time frame, and football tailgate season. Football is almost over, and I've been going down for tailgating at least every other week. And what I do is I use the Isagenix products to help me control my weight. Now, I'll tell you a little story about this as well. I was pretty excited about this, and I thought it was a really good product. In fact, when we started using it, my wife and I both started using it, we realized it was something we were going to use for a long time. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I'm getting excited, right? I get to the point where I'm thinking, how can I tell people more about this? Because I'm going to make money with this. This is passive income. I've never, ever in my life thought about doing what's called MLM, or network marketing, or direct sales. And Greg asked in here, how much do the socks weigh? The socks are what? 12, 14
the socks?
The socks were pretty ugly, sorry. But anyway, I thought I want to tell people about this because I'm loving it. And my landlord sold his pharmacy business 2 years ago because he wanted to get more into natural pharmaceuticals. He wanted to do more with supplements and vitamins and all that kind of stuff. And so I had him look at the Isagenix products, and he was standing here saying, oh man, this is really clean. This doesn't have any chemicals. It doesn't have any preservatives. It's all natural. And I said, yeah, and it is the NSF. It's the only product that is approved by NSF, the National Sports Federation, and for athletes, for the Olympians, and all of that.
Have you heard the story behind that one, Dave, about the NSF certification?
No.
About it's $100,000 per batch to certify. So every time they make a new batch, every time they formulate a new batch, they have to pay $100,000 to get it certified before they can sell it. So they made a batch, paid their $100,000, and gave the batch, but they didn't do anything with the batch. It was the same thing they've been selling for a couple of years now. It was approved with no changes whatsoever.
Wow.
Not one change. So they charge you $3 a box more to have a sticker. So if you're an NFL player, you probably can afford that, but you need it. You have to certify it's okay for you.
Right.
So yeah, so that's how the products are gluten-free, are soy-free, are low on the glycemic index, are with undenatured whey protein, really good stuff from happy cows in New Zealand. They are nearly organic, and the reason they're nearly organic is because some of the items you can't get are actually come from other countries where they're certified beyond what our organic certifications are. It's a clean product across the board. You feel good when you eat it. It's good food. It's real food, I guess, is what we ought to say.
Well, that's the part that I loved about it, because what happened was I started with the shakes and the ionics and the cleanse.
Yeah.
I started using all of that, right? And within a week, I started losing weight. I lost like 6 pounds in the first 10 days.
Yeah, pretty typical.
Yeah, and I felt great. And here's the backstory. So for the last 4 months, from September until probably April, when I started listening to you talk about Isagenix, I was having donut addiction. I mean, I got my office in Cullman, Alabama. I moved out of the house, got an office, and I'd never had to drive to the office before. Cullman's got 3 little homemade, they've got one that's called the Dutch Bakery, and they've got 3 little homemade donut places in Cullman. And it's a small town, maybe 50, 60,000, I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, well, I'm not going to go get a donut today. I'm just not going to do it. I can man up here and just not go get a donut. Instead of turning right to go to the office, I would turn left to go get a donut. And I wouldn't feel great, but I was having this craving to get a donut. And it happened just about every day. And I thought, I got to do something to change this. So after the cleanse and after the week on the shakes I was doing like 2 shakes a day and a regular meal in addition to that. After about a week, I noticed the cravings were gone.
Yeah.
That was amazing to me.
Yeah, it's pretty common, by the way. It's and the reason is that it's an exact meal replacement shake. So the shakes actually, I don't know if you knew this, but 1 shake a day gives you all the nutrients that you need for a regular diet. But because it's completely balanced, and it has carbs in it, by the way. Oh my God, it has carbs, and you still lost weight. Imagine that.
Yep.
But you have carbs. So, what it does is it's so satisfying, and it gives you the carbs you're looking for. So all of a sudden, everything else goes away. I was laughing over the weekend because people were eating these bars, and they were sweet, and they were good, and the food's good. And they said, I will eat a whole box of these. And I said, actually, because of the way it's formulated, you don't do it. You have one, and you go on your merry way. Have you seen that with yourself, David?
Absolutely. I've got 3 of those bars in my bag over here, and they've been in my bag for about a week.
Yeah.
And they're there in case I'm stuck someplace. Mm-hmm. But I used to carry around 3 power bars, and I'd eat them on the way home.
Yep.
Just because I was bored or hungry or craving something.
Yeah, they're not power bars are they're not meal replacements, and they go away really quickly, and it's very low quality protein, and they're expensive, by the way. They're $3 or $4 a bar. So when you have a formulation that is an exact meal replacement, it satisfies the body's needs, so the body relaxes, and because of that, the body craves what it needs. I've taught this for a very long time. Basically, what happens is we have all these minerals and vitamins that our body needs, but our body doesn't have any way of knowing exactly which one we need. So if you're missing something, your body goes, okay, I need something, go eat donuts. And if it didn't get what it needed from the donut, it says, okay, go eat pizza.
Yep.
If that didn't work, it says, go eat chicken. And you're okay. And so that's what happened. Keep eating until you stumble across the vitamin or mineral that you need. With Isogenics, the good news is with one shake, you've given your body everything, so poof, cravings go away.
Yeah. And that's exactly the experience that I've had. And I'm still doing 2 shakes a day, by the way. Because it's so easy. Now, a couple of things have happened. I have a shake in the morning, and I have either a shake at lunch or dinner, depending on what my wife and I are going to do that day. So I still do the 2 shakes because I like them so much and because they fill me up. Now, I keep the jar of Isogenics snacks on my desk right here, and those are those little chocolate wafers, right? And they're filling as they can be, and they just help me. I'm just not hungry. Never am hungry.
Yeah, I still do 2 shakes a day. I work out pretty hard, so I tend to do an extra one for my workouts, and I keep the snacks around as well because there's no one plan for everybody, and which is what is great about this product is that we get in. I actually talked to you, Dave, and I talked to other people about it as well, and some people like the little snacks all day long. I tend not to do that. I tend to do a little like a mini snack, maybe about 5 in the afternoon. A lot of variety. We just make it work for our life, and that's really. I think one of the reasons, they've got 84% product usage, and what I mean by that is 84% of the people that buy Isogenics don't ever do anything other than, because it's network marketing, they don't sell it, they just eat it, and next month order more. I mean, to me, that's like a major Procter & Gamble type company where the consumer is just consuming it because they like it.
Well, the other thing I'm finding out is it's really amazing how many people are already using it that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people. I sat next to somebody at this conference I went to this weekend, and I had my little Isogenics shake jar with me, the little plastic shaker lid cup thing. Mm-hmm. And she said, oh, Isogenics, I used to use that. I love that. She said, I need to get back to that. And I said, yeah, you do. It's really good stuff. And then the example that Paul gave during the workshop, he said and I'm going to tell you this story real quick because I thought this was really interesting. Mm-hmm. He talked about how this was Paul Evans' $1 million keynote, and he talked about how he was doing coaching somebody who wanted to do a keynote address, and he was talking to her about her life, and he listened to her for 20 minutes and then pulled out all of the highlights of her life. She was 17 years old when she got married. She was 23. She had 3 kids and divorced, and she decided that she was going to go out into business for herself, and she ended up making $1 million. And so she was delivering this message. And afterwards, and Paul mentioned during this time, he said, she got involved in one of those network marketing / MLM companies, and she ended up making $1 million, got really into it, loved the product, doing really well. And so that became her goal. She was focused on doing that, and she did it. And so then afterwards, I'm sitting there, and I had an isoline bar that I was eating out of my bag, and Paul came up to me and said, is that an isoline bar? And I said, yeah, it is. And I said, I got another one. Do you want one? He said, I'd love one. They're delicious. He said, I think her name was Sarah. That's what Sarah's company was. She was in Isogenics, and she had made $1 million and since she was 23, and she was coaching with Paul. So, it's everywhere, and I had no idea. Now, I want to turn this off for a second and look at you because I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Were you ever going to be involved in network marketing?
No, not ever again. I tried it a couple times. I was involved actually about 2 years before. I was I do CrossFit, and the guy that at the CrossFit facility jumped into another company, and I said, okay, I'll play. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I hated the products. I hated the people. I hated the process. The comp plan I couldn't understand. I couldn't see any money. I had to spend $2,000 to get into it, and then I still have stuff sitting on my dresser right now. And so I was done. But one day I got a call from my friend Gail, who introduced it to me, and I said, listen, I've got to do my due diligence in this thing. I don't want to do it, nothing to do with it. And they weren't pushy, and they said, go Google, and I did, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And then I heard from a couple other people. They asked me for another phone call, didn't push me on it. And so it flew me out to Chandler, Arizona, by the way. To the headquarters, and the whole company stopped what they were doing for a day and wine and dined about 6 of us, I think, and proved to us that it was what it was. And I have to tell you, I just kind of rolled over. I did. I was like, you can't be this nice. It can't be this good. It just can't be. And I rolled into it, and then I sat on it for like 3 or 4 weeks and didn't do anything. And then I did. And magic happened. That was it. But I fought it every step of the way. Because you become a social outcast when you do something like network marketing.
Yeah.
It's been sold wrong. It's a bad deal. I mean, but yeah, I wasn't going to do it, and it was just because of the people. And I got to tell you that the people have continued to be just that way. It's an amazing group of folks.
Yep. Well, for me, what I realized was that this is basically an extension of affiliate marketing, and I don't do affiliate marketing for products that I don't use and love. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like about this. Now, and like I told you, when I started using this, I started a little Facebook group that was called 25 Pounds, Lose 25 Before the Next NAMS. That was the name of the Facebook group. And that's exactly what I planned for that group, was that I was trying to get people who are NAMsters to come into this little Facebook group. Let's all lose 25 pounds or more before the next NAMS if we need to do that. Mm-hmm. And or whatever you want to lose. And I said, I'm going to use this before I even mention it to anybody because I want to make sure it's something that I like and use. And I did, and I've done that for 2.5 months. And this is really the first time that I'm telling people about it. Except, I mentioned my natural pharmacist next door to me, the landlord. He signed up immediately for this because he recognized the value of it and wanted to get in on it. And then last week, I signed up another guy who works with me who wanted to get in this because he likes the product itself. And so, it's not really me out there beating the bushes to get people in on this, but I do want to tell people about it because it's that good.
And you started getting paid too. You probably got paid yesterday, didn't you?
I did, as a matter of fact. So I'm really liking it. Let's get back to this thing, and we can talk a little bit about getting paid and how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. So you should be seeing the screen again, and we're talking about this marketplace. Converging trends equals billions. Now, this is when we go back to evergreen, consumable, and timely products, hot products. This is what you're looking for. These three categories are pretty amazing. Look at the numbers. Weight management and obesity. 100 million dieters spending $60 billion annually. That's from ABC News. The second category is sports performance and energy. $11 billion in North America alone, according to, and I think this is the Analytics Business System, TABS, Inc. And the third one here is anti-aging and healthy living. This one, by the way, I think is sneaking up, although look at it, it's 80 billion now and will grow to 114. Mm-hmm. But they say by 2020 that living to be 100 will not be unusual, and it depends on how you want to live, in a nursing home in a wheelchair or in an active, vibrant life.
Yeah.
And, that's big.
Yeah, these are growing in a big way. I mean, the obesity thing is going to take some time, and certainly the boomers are growing up, and nobody wants to get old. They want to feel energized, and the real marketplace for that right now is the leading edge and the trailing edge baby boomers.
Right.
David, pretty much your age and a little bit down, kind of where I am.
Yeah.
We're invincible. We want to stay that way.
So now wait a minute. Did you just say that I'm a lot older than you? Is that what you said?
I think you are actually.
Yeah, I think I am too. Okay.
I think you had a few years on me. Not a lot. I didn't say a lot, but I mean, you would be. I'm technically a truly trailing edge. You might be on the edge of something else, but
At the edge of trailing edge. Let's hope. So, the Health and Wellness Revolution. That's this book by Paul Zane Pilsner.
Yeah.
It focuses on this industry that is exploding, and the baby boomers are the ones that are really controlling this market. So this is my market. I love the product. This is my market. Why wouldn't I tell them about this to help them improve their lives? That's what we do at NAMS, is help people improve their lives, right?
Yep.
So 50% of our economy is out of that group, so that's pretty amazing. And the trailing edge that you're talking about, the Gen X and the Gen Y, right?
yeah, your trailing edge are guys like me. I'm 54, and that's about the end of it. Also down to my wife, she's 50, so that would be the trailing edge. Leading edge would be about 20 years older than we are.
Yep,
And then,
that's the senior boom.
that's a senior boom, and that's they've got a lot of money out there, and they're by the way, that money that they have is being inherited by the people in their 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest wealth transfer in the history of the world that's going on right now.
And people in their 50s and 60s are seeing the writing on the wall, man. They got to have a business because things are changing. They got to have a way to have passive income. The people in my dad's age had a pension.
Yeah, truth is, the average income these days, even though 50% of our economy is from these boomers, truth is the average household income is $44,000 a year, medium household income. I don't know how you live on that. I have no idea.
I don't either. Not anymore.
And more the boomers are beginning to understand and realizing that they have to have something that just kind of churns the money automatically. And they're looking for that. And, I think you've seen their articles recently in Forbes magazine. Donald Trump has talked about it. The Berkshire Hathaway people are into this. It really is where things are going because of the marketplace as it is right now. And I got to tell you, and we'll get to this in just a few minutes, but the fastest growing part of Isogenics is actually what they call the START program, the 25 to 35-year-olds.
Yeah.
The millennials have discovered this as well because now they're looking at us and saying, hey, I want a great lifestyle. I want to be able to travel and afford what I want to do. And they're just rolling in this stuff now. It's amazing how they're coming in. I'm actually pretty excited. I think there's really hope for this world because when you see millennials get into something like this and take control of their life, now they got a head screwed on straight.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
So as it says in this book, that fortunes will be made in this industry, and everybody wants it, everybody needs it, and it's happening now in this. So here's a scary slide coming up. This is a really scary slide. That's what I used to eat.
Oh, I recognize
I
all
wasn't
of them.
terrible. Sorry, what did you say?
Take a minute and see what I haven't tried. Nope, tried them all.
I think I have too.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah, that's pretty scary, man.
And by the way, I haven't had a soda since September.
Good for you. My wife is on 3 years now, by the way.
No kidding.
Yeah, good for you.
And I haven't wanted one. That's the other thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this is the stuff right here that gives us diabetes, that gives us heart failure, that gives us heart disease, that causes us all the problems that we have. And I'll tell you, I was at lunch with my natural pharmacist friend today, and we were talking about he's building his business, and I'm coaching him, by the way, and he's building his business around natural pharmacy. And it's mostly supplements and matching the kind of supplements that you need for your own body. And we were talking about the diabetes too. I have that in my family, right? Diabetes. And I'm actually taking metformin because 3 years ago, I was turned down for life insurance because my sugar number was high. I was not diabetic, but I was what they called pre-diabetic. And so he and I are talking about that today, and I also take a beta blocker for the, not a beta blocker, but a statin for cholesterol. And he was saying, if you stay on this isogenic stuff and you do what you're supposed to be doing with this, you're probably going to be able to get rid of those because of the way that this stuff, because of the food that this stuff has in it, the nutrients that this has in it.
Yeah, if you could go to the grocery store and you could buy the same quality food, the same thing would happen. But it's hard to do these days. You actually can't buy the food the way it's farmed these days and created in this country. You can't do it. It's not there. That's why so much of isogenics is sourced across the world. But yeah, that's we have to be very careful and say, isogenics it can't cure things. Although we certainly see people getting a whole lot better. I mean, that's
Right.
what we have to say here. But yeah, it's kind of common. If you can get yourself on a good, solid nutritional program, everything else kind of takes care of itself pretty fast.
Yeah, and this slide here is maybe the scariest thing that I've seen.
Yeah.
This is the overweight index of 30 pounds or more from 1990 to 2010. And look at this. In 1990, in this country, we had the worst problem was in the 10 to 14% range of people who were overweight by 30 pounds or more. In 2010, we're looking at half the country at over 30% that are overweight by 30 pounds or more. That's a scary, scary slide. That's kind of the way we're headed, and it just blew me away when I looked at it.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
So when we talk about the passive income, and I told you guys who are in the 30-day challenge that these are the 5 areas that we discuss in building passive income. Affiliate marketing, and we've talked a lot about that. By the way, the red areas are the ones that I'm involved in. And as I had told you guys earlier, I'm going to be doing some other things as well, including the drop shipping, some physical products as well, and I'm going to be looking at more royalty stuff. That's where I'm going to be focusing a lot in my passive income as well. But I've added now this network marketing, and I hesitate to even call this network marketing because of the connotation that's with that, because it really is, the way this is set up, it really is commission sales. And I like it.
Yep, very different.
The key is to find the right company, and this is Isogenics. So Isogenics, Casey said, by the way, that slide with all the stuff on it looks like a balanced diet to him.
Yeah,
I believe you, Casey. That's the way mine was too.
Yeah.
So the thing about the right company is it's a decade of financial stability. It's on a mission to transform lives. Cumulative sales of $2.5 billion plus. World-class products. This guy right here. Talk about this guy, Scott. You know more about him than I do.
I do. I know pretty well about both of them. That's John Anderson. John is the master formulator. He created this product. And John has, I believe, it's 460 patents for formulation of nutritional products. He had done it for all kinds of other companies forever. He was the second or third richest guy in Arizona when he retired. And he had his big laboratory, and he was kind of fiddling around with this thing. He actually created the name Isogenics. And he was fiddling around with this and came up with these products, and he didn't want to go back in the marketplace with, from a marketing standpoint. Because if you look at network marketing, a lot of public companies get into trouble. A lot of they lead with marketing. In other words, guys come up with the idea. Sounds like internet marketing. They come up with an idea. Hey, I got an idea. Maybe, and they let marketing lead it instead of leading with the product. Because when you lead with a great product, it becomes sustainable. So John created that amazing product, and they began with a cleanse. I hear it wasn't very good. It's much better now. But they start with that. But then he approached the Coovers there, Jim and Kathy Coover. Jim has an executive background in network marketing, and Kathy was a field salesperson. And together they came, and they were, by the way, in retirement as well. And so John approached them and said, listen, we have this thing. We'd like to do this. I have a name. It's called Isogenics. The A in Isogenics stands for associate. And the only thing he asked for was that it be non-compromise, that they never, ever compromise on the product. They spend $2 million a year, by the way, testing their products, making sure everything is in them that's supposed to be in them. They test the ingredients several times from when they get them to when it's completed. So John put together with these guys. They have a mission to transform lives. They've been in business about 12 years. I think they're going to hit $3 billion this year. And as we'll see on a chart in just a few minutes, I believe, they're on track to do their first $1 billion next year. And David, I don't know how much you know about this, but very few companies ever get $1 billion cumulatively, much less $1 billion in a year. This doesn't happen. And Isogenics is doing it.
So what I like about it is financially stable. To me, if I want to get involved in something, and I love the product. Remember, we love the product. So that's one of our criteria for determining which products to sell is, do we love the product? I love this product. So now I'm starting to look a little deeper at it and what's behind the curtain. Well, what's behind the curtain is a financially stable company with a good compensation plan.
Yeah, and they call this, by the way, there's a lot of reasons they're growing like they're growing, but they call it a legacy company. And what they mean by that is you actually can start your business with them, and you can grow your business with them, and you can pass it on to your kids if you want to. It's a legacy company, and that's what they're building it for. It's a private company, by the way, and they've stated it always will be. And I don't know, when you stand in front of 12,000 people twice a year and tell them it will always be a private company, kind of hard to back out of that one. We believe them.
It is. It is. So you folks who are in NAMS and understand, I talk a lot about affiliate marketing. What this is, when you do referrals, remember we do lifetime referrals, lifetime database referrals at NAMS. That's what I love about our system, is that once you bring somebody into our system and they create a transaction, you own that person for life. Remember my PI test, we didn't talk about this at all today, but my PI test, which is the passive income evaluation test, the very first tenet of that for a top level affiliate relationship is it lifetime database referrals. This is lifetime database referrals. When you bring somebody into the system, they are tagged to you. But it doesn't stop there. The really interesting part of this is, and this is what blew me away, is I had not brought anybody into this. I had not referred anybody into Isagenix until last week or 2 weeks ago. And I already had 4 people under me. Mm-hmm. So Scott, tell people how that worked.
I put them there. And I did.
And why did you do that?
Well, because I have no choice, by the way. That's the way it's structured. What happens is that we have what's called a binary compensation plan. And so there's you at the top in the green, and then you have a left side and a right side. And now, remember, I only have a left side and a right side as well. So I think, David, you're on my right side. And so when you signed up with me, then the next guy who signed up with me, well, I put him on my right side as well, and he ended up going down below you. And then a few other people. And, of course, then when they sign people up, they go underneath you as well. That's how those people started to show up. Now, the truly magical part about this is all the volume they're building down below. In other words, when sales are made, there's certain business volume. That's rising up to you. And that's why you notice that you were actually maintaining some volume in your what we call the back office. And as soon as you got paid consultant, you started making money. So this pays to infinity. So you don't have 8 teams. You don't have to get in early, although our team is really young, and I can get into that more if you want to talk about that. We're in a really neat place right now. But what happens is it's even for everybody. If you don't want to participate, it just goes right past you. If you just like the products and don't want to sell them, it just goes right past you. But if you do want to, you can take advantage of all the volume happening below you, left and right. And that's how it works. It's that simple. Left and right team, you start making money.
So what happened for me was I had 4 people on my right side that Scott had put in on the right side. I signed up somebody on the left side for me, which was my friend and my landlord and my natural pharmacist here on the left side. And then I signed up the other person on the right side. And automatically I got a little pop-up in my my back office in the Isagenix website that said, congratulations, you're now a consultant. That's the next level above associate. Yep. And guess what? I already had 3 cycles, which was $165,
yep,
basically, because all of those points or business value, not business value, it's business volume. All of that's 100, 100, 100, and 300 there. So it's 600 and 300 that is total there. And I had like 2,400 business volume points already stacked in there waiting for me.
Yeah, what happens is the volume kind of stacks up, and we can get into that on a private call because it gets a little confusing sometimes. But the reality is you never lose anything. So you just build points, and we need a total of 900 to get paid, but it's 600 on one side, 300 on the other. Whenever you had any combination of that, you're going to get $54. Now, there's other ways too, because if you sign somebody up, you'll get a bonus for that. You get a commission on making the product sale. You get a commission on you get a cycle, which is the passive income. We should let you know that. There's always a commission when you sell a product, but the cycle that you get when you get 900 points is the true passive income, and that's where the magic is. Yep. When you get down the line and get a bunch of people under you like I have now, I'm starting to see cycles that it's self-fulfilling every week. I don't do anything, and it cycles back and forth, and I'm making money now. So, but in the end, really all you have to do is this. You sign up, and you find 2 people that want to sign up, one on your left side, one on your right side, now you start getting paid. and you just keep doing that, and you help to build them do the same thing. And David, I have to tell you, that has been one of the most fun things. I thought I didn't kind of want to work with people to build my team. I thought, leave me alone kind of stuff. Let me do my marketing.
Right.
But when I started working with people and I helped them grow their business, and then it clicked to me. It didn't take long, because when they got it, then I realized they were teaching people as well, and they were out leveraging themselves, and that was leverage for me. And then I started to see the volume come up underneath it. It's pretty crazy. I mean, we've had some great success doing this, but in the end, if you're brand new, it literally is 2 teams. There's no cap. It goes to infinity. Okay, let's be honest. There is one cap, David. Isagenix allows you to make $702,000 a year in passive income, and there's some bonuses in there that you can make up to $800,000. After that, if it grows to where it's making $5 million a year, they're going to cut you off, but they do give you another place where you can come back in and come back in and come back in. We can explain that in detail, but infinity down to about $702,000, and then you have to kind of you open up another leg is what you do, another new right side, and now you earn twice as fast because your left side's kind of on autopilot.
Right.
A little more complicated there, but in other words, you can go as far as you want to go. It doesn't matter where you get in, as long as people keep coming in underneath you, you keep making more and more money.
Yep. And like I say, there's nothing passive about passive income. You always have to do a little bit of work to get things going, but the important part is do the work once, get paid forever, right? And that's what this does for you.
Let me explain something real fast before you go on there, David, and just real fast. If you look at, because we talk about getting it going, do the work once, and we know that's what you have to do with passive income. But if you can imagine your left team and your right team, and I've got a bunch of people on my left team and a bunch of people on my right team now, and they're all starting to fire up. And in the beginning, I had to get somebody on my left and somebody on my right, and I had to build a few people there. But as they began to grow on their own and everybody put people underneath me, now I'm at the point now where I cycle every single week a bunch, whether I do anything or not, because everybody else is doing stuff underneath me. So a little bit of work early on is yielding massive passive income right now automatically.
Yeah, and that's the part I love about passive income, right?
I'm what they call a one-star golden circle. Now it's kind of, when you get into anything like this, there's all kinds of ranking, but I'm an executive one-star golden circle. It means I have 10 consultants underneath me, and they've each got 2 people underneath them, and I cycle about 10 times a week at $54 per person. I've been doing this since April, so that's what I'm doing right now, and that is whether I do anything or not. It just cycles in passively.
Nice to see that every week, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, I like the bing bing on my cell phone, that's for sure.
I bet that's true.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at here what the products really are. We haven't really talked about them so much, but this is the Business Builder Pack. That's what I got. I started with this, and it includes, bars and the shake canisters, and there's a Pro Shake, which is even more protein. There's the daily vitamins. There's the kind of a 4-hour energy thing. Now, all of this stuff is, like you said earlier, Scott, this is all natural, nearly organic, and good for you, basically.
Yeah, it all is. It's all great for you. Isagenix is, they've got about 65 products in their line, and what you're looking at on the screen is you see a cleanse there on the left-hand side, and they do it. It's a nice cleanse, by the way. David, you've done the cleanse, right?
I have done the cleanse. Doing it again tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not the cleanse that you normally think of. It's a natural, very light cleanse, very enjoyable. They've got protein bars, which are some of the best on the market you'll see. And by the way, I told you, I guess, the shakes were meal replacement shakes. Well, the protein bars are basically a meal replacement or a shake replacement. They're identical to the shake.
Yep.
They've got a high-end athletic protein. We have little chocolates there at the top called Isa Delights. Those are like little Godiva chocolates. They're awesome.
They're awesome.
They have tea. On the right-hand side, you see the E-Shot. It's a 5-hour energy kind of drink, but it's actually good for you. Bad stuff in it. They have vitamins, and one of the big things they have here, talking about people over 45, they've got the product B isogenesis, which is the telomere support. And telomeres basically are an indicator of, hate to say it, but when you're going to die. It's like a shoelace cap, the plastic shoelace on your thread on your shoelaces, the cap on your shoelaces. If that wears out and falls off your shoelaces, they unravel, and well, your shoelaces are dead. Well, we have a cap on the end of our chromosome, and as the cap shrinks on the chromosomes, when it gets down to a certain point, we die. And they've been able to figure this out over time. There are 2 ways to stop that. One is intense exercise, and 2, take isogenesis. They've spent $40 million developing this product. It's clinically proven, and it slows down the shortening of the telomeres, and it's in one of those boxes on the screen there.
Right.
So
Product B.
this is all, and I think your friend, your Stephen, who got into this, the old pharmacist, he said the same thing. This is pharmaceutical grade product that you're looking at right here.
Right, right. Okay, so there was the Business Builder, and the President's Pack, which is kind of the next one down in a package. You can get all of the stuff individually, but you can also do these as packages to get a better deal on it, and to get started, really. That's one of the things that I like to do is get started. And I've brought in a couple of people on the President's Pack because it's a great way to get started. Yeah. So that's a lot less actually, and you can choose this in the performance or in the weight loss. Then there are other starter packs that are less to get started with. There's the cleansing pack, the healthy aging and telomere support pack, and the skincare, by the way, which is something that my wife loves. She loves the new Rejuvity skincare.
It's a great product. My wife loves it too, by the way. She tried it because she's tried everything. And she's all on Rejuvity now. She loves it.
Yep. And then there's the energy and performance pack as well. Now, if you like to work out or you like to replace your meals, either of these, the energy and performance or the cleansing and fat burning system work really well for that.
And we can mix and match them. We can change them around. One of the things that you do, David, and I do as well, spend a lot of time usually on the phone when we get somebody that would like to do this, talking about the product and what their needs are, and can we, is it weight loss, energy, what is it going to be? And if they're interested, as I see on the screen right now, in the opportunity of this, it takes a little bit of time to kind of explain it and really get people to understand it. So if you're thinking, wow, we're flying through this, there's a lot to talk about here. We do take the time, and I'm available to David to help you as well to really explain this to you. And Joy, by the way, my wife, very, very, very available as well to make sure you get off on the right foot. And we, by the way, David, follow through for about 5 or 6 weeks with people to make sure they're really off and running on it.
Yep. So how do I earn money with this? If you want to take this, first I tell you to be focused on using the product. The product is really good. You got to love it. You got to love the product because I do. It's really become part of my nutrition plan. In fact, it's become most of my nutrition plan. When you can do that, you can talk about it, right? So you become an associate. An associate is somebody who is basically just using the product. So I'm going to flip these up, and why don't you talk about it, Scott?
Yeah, essentially, we like people to use the product, and with that, because you become a walking product of the product. You believe in it, and so almost everybody comes in the door and they order the product wholesale. They get on the product, they start loving it right away, and within about 4 days, they go, "Oh my God, what happened to me? Where'd my energy come from? Why does my skin look better?" And it just happens. We've seen it tons of times. So you come in as an associate. Now, what normally happens is, this call may be different because we have business people on this call. But usually people come in, they say, "Hey, just let me try the product." Well, about 3 weeks later, they say, "Did you say I could actually sell this too?" And you go, "Yeah, just find 2 more people." So we sponsor 2 more people, we get them in, and by the way, it's very common for me to get on the phone with you because I'm giving you a lot of information right now that you're not going to know in the first 3 weeks of doing this. So it's very common for you to set up a call with me, and I just get on the phone and do what I'm doing now. I explain it, and they sign up. So now you become a consultant. The minute you become a consultant, you start making money instantly, and people are really surprised because usually the next day, money comes popping into your bank account. You're like, "I didn't expect that to happen." Yeah. Daily money? Really? Yeah, because Isagenix wants to take care of you. We understand that if you get paid, you're going to sell the product. It takes work. Not going to fool with you. This is something that you really, it's not hard work. It's just talking to people and doing what we're doing right now. But it's going to take a little time to learn about it. That's why we want you to get on the product first.
Well, listen, when you lose 15 pounds, somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, how'd you lose weight?"
They do. And it's just that I signed a lady up on the airplane the other day, and we just got in conversation, and she had a lot of questions, and then basically got an hour and a half coaching call with her, and signed her up. And you know what she said to me, David? And I've done this a long time with fitness and stuff. She says, "I am desperate to lose weight. I've tried everything." And I heard that. And that, by the way, that's why I got into it, really. I motivate, I inspire, but I can't be at the dinner table with you.
Right.
And every single person who has gotten on this product, combined with what we do with the coaching, the motivation, all that stuff, they lose weight and they feel great. And so that's really a major reason we're involved. Anyway, you keep on going, you become a sponsor, or you get a couple people, you become a consultant. We have some other levels. We have manager and director and then executive, which is where I am. But you can earn up to 250 cycles a week. You can do the math. That's $54 each. And it adds up pretty quick. have to be realistic about it. How long can it take you? We always like people to have goals and say, well, what would you like? And they all say, David, they all say, I want $200,000 a year within a year.
Yeah.
It's possible. We've seen $1 million earners, but realistically, if you put your heart and soul, not even your heart and soul, work it into the pockets of your life, it's really, really, really fairly, I'm going to say fairly, I'm trying not to overshoot here. So let's say 40 cycles a week, which is like a six-figure income, right? About $100,000. Yep. After a year working at this, if you actually work it, meaning if you get out there and you make some phone calls, you do what you're doing right now, it's like any other business. I spend about 8 hours a week on it. That's it. And I just factor it into everything else I do, and it just keeps on going and going. So there's the numbers there. So you can max out at 13.5, $54,000 a month, or $702,000 a year. Now you can actually do more than that, because just a quick explanation: the guy that is running our team, a guy named Jay Bennett, he's number 3 in the company. And we're in a very, very good place, because Jay has closed out one leg at $702,000. Then he closed out another leg at another $702,000. So he's got $1.4 million passive. Now he's working on his third leg, and I am very near the top of that third leg, which means that we have complete access to Jay Bennett, to all the people at the top. He is driving this team like crazy because he really wants to grow. So if you've ever heard that you need to get in at the top, or you need to get in with the number 1 leaders, you're talking to a guy right now who's 4 steps away from the number 3 guy in the company and has access to him. I could text him right now. He'd be pinging me back within minutes. That's how you get there. You don't go in this kind of business under your next door neighbor who is, hey, I got something new. You go in under somebody who's building a business, and that's what we're doing here.
That's right.
That's how much you can make.
So one of the things about Jay, by the way, what you told me, which I thought was really interesting and showed me that this was truly passive income, was he built his first leg, $702,000.
Yeah.
He built his second leg, $702,000. Now he's in the third leg with us, and he's going to be doing $2.1 million when he finishes this leg. But he doesn't pay attention to the first 2 legs, because they're running on autopilot passively for him. So he's just building an additional leg.
Yeah, I was on a cruise ship after the event in San Diego. We were out on, about 60 of us were on this dinner cruise after the event. I won a contest because I accelerated so fast, and I was out there with the owners of the company, and Jay was there. And the table that I was at, seated, they literally, everybody at the table was on the first or the second team. Nobody was on their third team. And they were so jealous of me because they came in late. I came in the beginning of Jay's third team. So listen, I can tell you this. If you've ever thought about doing something like this and it makes sense and you wanted all the support, you want probably more support without being bugged. I mean, literally nobody pinging you, yelling at you, nobody hitting you up on Saturday or Sunday night at 8 o'clock at night and saying, hey, what are you doing tonight? It doesn't happen that way. We're all professionals. But if you want to reach into somebody who, we just got back from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Jay's on an 8-city tour right now because we got on the phone and asked him. We said, we want to run some events. We're pulling 50 people into each event. Would you do this? Would you come and do a presentation for us? He got on the airplane. He didn't charge us a dime. He's going from city to city to city doing a 4-hour presentation and then helping us get people enrolled. That's the kind of guy this guy is.
Yeah, that's great.
Look at the cycles on that page. So I'm at 10 there. So that's what's happening to me. It took me, so that's been since April that I built to 10.
So yeah, since, what is that, 6 months now?
Yeah. So my goal is 40 by the end of the year. So by the end, I probably didn't really get started, I'm thinking, until right around sometime toward the end of March. I signed up in April. So I said in May I'm going to have 40 cycles a week, and that's what I'm shooting for. That's my goal. So $9,000 a month. And I'm beginning to see it really as a possibility. And like everybody else, like you asked, did I want to get into this? Well, no, I got kind of dragged into it. But as I've seen it happen, and I go check my back office, and I see it just keep going like magic money, I'm like, holy moly, this is going to work. And then you see you're actually helping people. I got to tell you, it's so cool to see people come out of their shell. It's people who are like, I can't make a phone call. I don't know how to do this. I can't present. I've never made any money doing it. And we kind of hold their hand, and we show them how. And then they go do it, and we help them, and we go to the events with them, and then they sign people up, and now they're making an extra $200 a week. Maybe $1,000 a month pretty quickly. David, I'm going to tell you something here, and I don't know what's coming up, but I want to say this. Do you know how much money you have to have in the bank to make an extra $1,000 a month passive income at 5% interest? Any idea?
Well, not off the top of my head, no.
$240,000.
Yikes.
Yeah. You got $240,000?
So if you want to, if you want to, I'm just going to flip to the next slide because somebody here is asking what's up next, and I'm just going to, Mary Louise, this is it. If you would like to talk more about this, jump to nams.ws/ISAMeet, ISAMEET, and all you're going to do is set up an appointment with me to talk about it. So that's what we want you to do today. If you're interested in this, if you want the idea, the opportunity to make passive income, and to actually start talking about using this product, which is really good, just go to ISAMeet. That's nams.ws/ISAMeet, and sign up for an appointment. We'll just spend a little time talking about it. That's all.
Yeah, and that's really the only way to do it. Because you have a lot of questions, and we want you to have questions. We want to answer them. It doesn't do us any good at all to have somebody come in and snooker them in the door and get them to sign up for something. What really helps is that we can answer your questions, get you healthy, get you to lose weight, and if you're really in the business op, show you how to do it. There is some strategy to making this work, and it's not hard. And if you're into the internet marketing world, you already know 90+% of what you need to do to make this work. Most people who have ever tried network marketing have no sales skills, no marketing skills at all. That's why it's hard. You don't have that problem. you have those skills. And if you don't, we have those skills. So yeah, David, I usually spend about an hour on the phone with people and answering all their questions, and at some point they just say, yeah, let's give it a shot. And I probably ought to say this as well, just to pass it in. Isodentics does have a 100% money-back guarantee. If you get in the door and you don't like the products for some reason, I doubt that's going to happen, but they've got your back. They're a major company. They cover you. And I've seen it happen a couple times. People just change their minds, so we don't worry about it. We just want to show the opportunity to you. That's all.
Well, the thing is, it's exactly what we started this with, is selling products that you love. And, it's so easy for me to talk about this because I have fallen in love with this. I mean, I am really on fire with this because I've seen change in my life with it. You're going to see me at that 202 that you saw in the beginning on the scale. You're going to see that it's going to be down to 190 when we hit NAMS in March. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen 190 since I was maybe 35 years old.
And guys, I'm going to tell you something right now, if I may. Just 35. Wow, man, that's a long time. One thing I want to say about this is, I'm driving this because I'm going to close out a leg. I said 3 years. I'm getting more and more excited. I may get to that 702,000 faster. I'm seeing it. It's like it's tantalizing now. But if you believe in what David's doing and you see he's into this, you need to get in with David now, because you can guarantee that David's going to go out there and he's going to start signing up people underneath him. He's going to start signing people up. Remember what we said earlier on the left and the right. Every single person who David enrolls in this is going to come under you. And so all that volume is going to come up from anybody else that he enrolls, everybody he enrolls. So, David, if you're going to do with this what I think you're going to do, and I really do think you are, there's going to be a whole bunch underneath you, and all of that volume is going to come up to these first few people who are just hearing about it. So, and everybody that I put in goes under you as well. So it's a first mover advantage for sure.
And see, and I actually, to tell the truth, I have actually earmarked my kids and some of my best friends, and I have contacted them and said, listen, I know you may not know anything about network marketing, you may have misconceptions about network marketing. Please have an open mind about this, because this is not that. This is an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, it really is, and all you really have to do, again, a little bit of time to learn it, and a little bit of time to get on the phone and talk to people. Like I said, somebody on an airplane. I mean, I plan on sleeping on the way back. I was tired. I'm sure glad I didn't, because I got to help somebody, and she was so grateful. And then I got back, and my wife was like, "You did what?" I said, "Yeah, I helped somebody. I grew my business." And she's already talking to me about some friends. She's so excited because she got online and started researching, and she said, "Oh my God, this is great. It's good, man." And I've got my kids also, and my wife, and anybody who's close to me, I made sure I got them in early on, because now they're benefiting from all that volume coming up underneath me as well, making a passive income.
And that's my point. I have gone to these people and said, listen, I see what's going to happen here, and I want you at the top of this. So I actually told them I'm going to do this webinar today, and I'm expecting 10 people today to get signed up. Please get into this before those 10 people do, because I want you to be taking advantage of this. Whether they do or don't, now's the time to get into this, because being at the top of this, you're going to get all that stuff flowing below you. And I'm telling you, I'm really excited about this. Not because of the business opportunity. That's great. I love the business opportunity. But I love the way it makes me feel. I love this product. And that goes back to my initial point. Promote what you love.
Yeah. Yeah, this is easy for me. And I'm going to just be honest and tell you, David, that I love it as well. This is the first network marketing product, a nutritional product that's found its way into my pantry. Anything I purchased before kind of lived on the counter or maybe on another shelf someplace, but not in the pantry that I go to for every single meal. We use it for everything, and it's part of our life now. The vitamins, the joint supplement. I don't know if you take any joint like glucosamine. I gave up mine and went on theirs, and it is a game changer, total game changer, because it's so good.
As well.
So the product is fantastic. There's no doubt about that. We just understand that, and I've gotten so excited about this. And when I started, I just want to address this for people who maybe have a little bit of the stigma of being a social outcast because, oh no, it's network marketing. Society has kind of built that on us right now. Best opportunity in the world is this because it's direct selling and you're in control of it. But I had that for a little while, a little stigma there. But as I did it longer and as I used the product more, and then as I saw myself making passive income, and then really I began to see I got 124 people under me right now that I've signed up since April. And those people are making money and their lives are being changed. And David, they're not me and you. They're secretaries and retail people.
Right.
They're just regular folk. And they just took a flyer and they believed in me, and I get on the phone and I work with them, and you'll do the same thing, I'm sure. And suddenly, a couple of months later, they start making money every month, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And they love the products on top of it. It just works. It's a good feeling. It really is a good company. You'll love it. We're going to be out in January out at their New Year's kickoff, and then back in San Diego in September for their celebration. And they're estimating 15,000 people there this year.
Wow!
It's an amazing organization.
Wow. So, Scott, before we close out, I just want to mention this again. If people go to nams.ws/ISAMeet, ISAMEET, they can select times there that we can talk, and just drop that in. And I'll pick one of your 3 times, and we'll schedule a time to talk about this. And if we need to get Scott involved, we will. But I think we can handle it on our own. The other thing that I wanted to say was, and I sent you this a couple of weeks ago, was I saw an article from Forbes magazine. I'm going to close out with this. An article from Forbes magazine that said that 76% of the baby boomers were looking for a business that they could get into after retirement. And the 76% of them were looking for a network or direct marketing company that they could do that with because it was like owning a franchise. And that's really what we're talking about here. It's like owning a franchise without having to buy a franchise. I'm
going to tap into something as you close this out. I was in Chandler, Arizona, talking to Jay Bennett on the 2-story building that they have there. And we were kind of overlooking. We were on the upper deck where the conference room and the offices are, looking down on the floor where customer service was. And Jay Bennett, he end of a long day. I'm kind of punchy and kind of tired. He says, Scott, it's pretty amazing. There's about 100 people down there right now. And they are waiting for you to call. They have a warehouse, they have product, they have marketing, the employees are all here, they're handling all your customer service, they're handling every single part of your transaction, and they're paying you for it. You don't have to do anything. And if you have a problem, your customers call them. He said, where can you do that? You can't do it anywhere. If you look at all the stuff that we do trying to run our businesses, and they've got all this stuff set up for you, and all you really have to do is find the people, it's a no-brainer. And I heard him say that, and it was one of those moments when you just see in somebody's eye, and no pretense at all. It just kind of came out, and it's like, yep, I got it, man. So that's what you're dealing with here. A billion-dollar company basically being your partner.
Yep.
Hard to find.
That's great, Scott. I really appreciate your time being on here today. Thank you so much. And again, if anybody wants to talk about this any further, they can go to nams.ws/ISAMeet. nams.ws/ISAMeet. I'll put that link in the chat box, by the way. Should have done that earlier.
Yeah. Hey, you're some kind of rookie or something? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So much to do, so many buttons to push.
I know. I need a producer. So, Scott, thank you again for doing this. I'm going to leave this open and up for a few minutes so you guys can see that link and just click on it and go over there and make your appointment with me. So thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.